This is a continuation of the topics we have in the survey of biotechnology. One of the first things that we have here is pharmacogenetics, which is the intersection of pharmacology and how your body will react to a particular medicine or a drug. Trying to figure that out. Partly uses the gene chip in researching that. And there are four main methods of administering a drug: intramuscular, directly into the muscle; transdermal, which would be something like a patch; subcutaneous, which is under the skin; or intravenous, which would be straight into the vein. The first genetically modified crop was tobacco. There are four major GMO crops today: cotton, soybean, canola, and maize. And the name of the force that allows a gecko to stick to the wall is van der Waals force. It's on a molecular level, and you get the gecko hairs are so small it'll interact at the molecular level of what it touches, and it's called van der Waals force. Moving on here, again with the gecko's foot, the question here is, does the gecko's foot use suction and some other kind of force? No, it doesn't use suction at all. It uses a combination of van der Waals force, and once gravity kicks in, then van der Waals force would work, but not suction. Scientists, they actually have made a tape that is 10 to 13 times stronger than the actual gecko foot. Bioprospecting would be searching the environment for anything that would be of particular value or profit to biotech firms. The gene chip is a chip that can identify a person's entire genome, and it's useful in medicine. It somewhat has to do with the pharmacogenetics, in that they can look in the gene chip and they can see what you might be allergic to, or what part of your genetic makeup might conflict with some medicine or treatment. I'm going to move on to the next one here. But the gene chip might soon be replaced by the protein chip, where they can look at your protein makeup rather than your gene makeup, even though they're very closely related. Right along here we have mitochondria in the cell, and this is useful in converting food and air into energy, called ATP. It's pretty valuable inside of the cell. The unique part about mitochondrial DNA is that it's passed on only through females, and as for Achilles thuringiensis, it is a bacterium that's genetically modified into corn, so that if pests or insects eat the corn, it kills the insects or the pests, but it doesn't really harm the environment. It doesn't go beyond the insects, it being detrimental. And one of the first GMO pets, genetically modified pets, was the glowfish. Class video was called Cracking the Code. We're going to discuss through all the class videos some of the positive and the negative aspects. Cracking the code, there's an ability for scientists to identify a specific gene and figure out if a person has a tendency for a particular disease. So you could then avoid having two people that have that gene from having a child, because the child would be more likely to have the gene or the disease then. Also in the video Cracking the Code, another positive aspect was the ability to perform gene therapy, such as there was a child that had cystic fibrosis. If you go in and specifically fix a gene in some manner, then you can prevent that child from having that disease. One of the positive aspects in the organ farm video was that obviously we can use some of the organs or the cells from other species to benefit humans. Now, a risk to that, or negative part of that, is that they may bring along with them their unique diseases from their own species that may be very detrimental to humans. In the Harvest of Fear, we have the benefits of biotechnology being that crops can be produced less expensively, or crops can be produced to be resistant to certain types of crop diseases or crop viruses, and then being more resistant, it keeps them alive and is beneficial to society and humans. But some of the negative aspects would be a lot of people are afraid of the consequences of biotechnology, and there are radical or violent groups that would act in ways to protest, such as setting fire to things or lashing out towards scientists that conduct biotechnology research. We do have some here issues with environmental biotechnology. The basic concept of environmental biotechnology is the idea of bioremediation. It's where you can use bacteria or organisms that can specifically clean up from some sort of disaster or from some sort of spill, specifically like an oil spill. You could have bacteria that would consume oil and clean up the environment that way back to a normal condition. Another aspect of environmental biotechnology is having some sort of crop that is safer. When we have the idea of the Bacillus thuringiensis, is that it is able to be safer for the environment rather than being destructive to it. There are numerous ethical issues surrounding biotechnology. There's some underlying religious beliefs that altering with the genes is altering with the creator's work, and that there's potentials for diseases or mutations, and that if you're altering on that level, you're creating a new human being rather than the human being that was designed to be created. So that would be a major ethical underlying issue.